Valley Authority was a federally owned corporation which combined the power of the government with the aspect of private businesses that allows it to be flexible.
When was the TVA created?
Well, actually, Congress approved the Tennessee Valley Authority on May 18, 1933.
Now, let's go to Thought Bubble. Roosevelt first created the TVA to address many environmental, economical issues. Some of these issues included the delivery of low-cost electricity,
Management of natural resources, power production,
navigation,
flood control, malaria prevention,
reforestation,
and erosion control. Now it's time to open the secret compartment. Roosevelt also wanted the TVA to be a yardstick for utility rates, meaning it could be a tool to measure efficiency of the rates of electricity in the United States, much like a yardstick can be a tool to measure length. However, many argued that the TVA could not be used as a yardstick because it possessed the benefits of being government-owned, such as no taxes and less interest on loans, while it still had the flexibility of a private enterprise. Roosevelt summed up his goal for the TVA when he described it as a corporation clothed with the power of government but possessed of the flexibility and initiative of a private enterprise.
Roosevelt first appointed 3 men to the governing board with talents related to the TVA's multiple missions.
Arthur E. Morgan was the president of Antioch College in Ohio. He was also an experienced dam builder. Harcourt Morgan was the president of the University of Tennessee and an agriculturalist.
David E. Lilienthal was a utilities lawyer and charismatic leader of the Wisconsin Public Service Commission.
Now let's go to the open letter.
Commonwealth and Southern began an assault on the TVA's modest power program.
CNS suggested TVA limit its power program to selling its production to private companies at the source. Morgan agreed with this, and Lilienthal did not, which started a feud. Lilienthal believed that each community should be free to choose its own power provider. Roosevelt finally intervened and fired Morgan in 1938.
The U.S. Supreme Court ruled that the TVA had a right not only to produce power, but also to distribute and market it. At the last Supreme Court decision in August 1939, Willkie sold all CNS Valley holdings to the TVA.
As you could probably tell through the rocky beginning of the TVA's governing board, the TVA has had quite an interesting history and has also accomplished a wide array of tasks since it was first created. In the 1930s, Texas Valley was in extremely rough shape because the land had been overfarmed and almost all of the trees had been logged. To help solve this dilemma, the TVA built dams to harness rivers. The dams generated electricity, which led to more modern farming tools and techniques, and thus more productive farms that caused less damage to Texas Valley.
In the 1940s, they created many hydroelectric power sources as well as a steam plant in order to provide energy for the aluminum plants used in World War I, which were being used to create bombs.
By the 1950s, the TVA had become the nation's largest electricity supplier. However, due to the restrictions that accompanied being government-owned, they could not create other sources of energy besides hydropower, and not enough energy being produced to reach demand. So, in 1959, the TVA became self-financing. In the 1960s, they began building nuclear plants.
In the 1970s and 80s, the oil embargo occurred, causing energy demand to drop. The TVA was forced to cancel many nuclear power plants, but to stay competitive, they improved efficiency and productivity. Eventually, they became a leader in promoting energy conservation, which was and continues to be important to homeowners all over the country.
In the 1990s, they came up with new clean air strategies to reduce pollutants. Remember Arthur E. Morgan, Harcourt Morgan, and David Lilienthal? Well, in the 2000s, the TVA made the switch from 3 full-time governing board members to 9 part-time members. Hopefully triple the people doesn't triple the arguments. Now it's time for the phrase of the week. Electricity for all. This is the TVA's slogan.
I hope you can now consider yourself an expert on the Tennessee Valley Association and its rich history.